tarjeta de crédito Selección Nacional. Llévate la playera de la Selección Nacional utilizando tu tarjeta. Recompensas con artículos oficiales y experiencias. 6 meses sin intereses en tus compras y más. Solicítala en tu sucursal, Banorte Móvil o banorte.com.
Bienvenido al equipo Banorte.
A todos nos gusta que nos valoren. No importa si es a través de un gesto, o puntos para comprar, certificados de regalo, artículos gratis y viajes.
Con tus tarjetas de crédito Banorte, tus decisiones tienen más beneficios. Disfruta del programa de lealtad más completo. ¿Y tú, qué tarjeta de crédito Banorte necesitas?
Lo que quiero me lo compro en el Hot Sale. Si me olvido, no importa. Luego llega el Buen Fin. O me lo regalo en diciembre. De mí para mí.
Con tus tarjetas de crédito Banorte, tus decisiones tienen más beneficios. Un mundo de promociones todo el año. ¿Y tú, qué tarjeta de crédito Banorte necesitas?
Qué placer viajar con ventajas. Esperar tu vuelo súper cómodo y luego abordar sintiéndote muy especial. Acumular recuerdos, sonrisas y millas.
Con tu tarjeta de crédito Banorte United, tus decisiones tienen más beneficios. ¿Y tú, qué tarjeta de crédito Banorte necesitas? Banorte, el banco fuerte de México.
En Afflux Growth, somos aliados para impulsar el crecimiento de las empresas. Configuramos nuestras soluciones financieras para atender las necesidades de nuestros clientes de manera integral, a través de arrendamientos y líneas de crédito, así como nuestra nueva plataforma digital para el factoraje. Afflux Growth, innovación financiera para un mejor futuro.
Ven a tu tienda AT&T y arma tu plan AT&T Ármalo en 4 simples pasos. 1. Elige el smartphone que más te guste. Págalo a 24, 30 o 36 meses y olvídate de los intereses. 2. Selecciona los gigas que deseas para navegar. 3. Elige tus redes sociales favoritas. Por último, agrega a tu plan las apps de streaming que más te gusten. ¡Listo! Así de fácil es armar, estrenar y navegar con lo que más usas. AT&T Ármalo, tu plan como tú eliges. AT&T, cambiemos el juego.
There are all kinds of legends here, each one of them with their own story. But there is one thing they all have in common. They all drive us to find our greatness. Greatness is not something you were born with, nor is it reserved for a few. Greatness is, in any case, a choice. It begins with a dream and transcends languages, generations, and borders. It comes from a team united in body, mind, and spirit. Because by joining forces, the extraordinary can be achieved. True greatness forges a legacy that inspires others to dream more and become more, creating a better world for those who will come next. Legends inspire greatness in others. Let's be legends.
En Banorte sabemos que en equipo somos más fuertes.
Abre tu cuenta Enlace Personal, Enlace Digital o Mujer Banorte sin costo. Manéjala desde tu celular con Banorte Móvil. Y con ella tendrás acceso a todos nuestros canales. Solicítala ya en tu sucursal o en banorte.com.
Banorte está donde tú lo necesitas.
Conoce la nueva tarjeta de crédito Selección Nacional. Llévate la playera de la Selección Nacional utilizando tu tarjeta. Recompensas con artículos oficiales y experiencias. 6 meses sin intereses en tus compras y más. Solicítala en tu sucursal, Banorte Móvil o banorte.com.
Bienvenido al equipo Banorte.
A todos nos gusta que nos valoren. No importa si es a través de un gesto o puntos para comprar, certificados de regalo, artículos gratis y viajes.
Con tus tarjetas de crédito Banorte, tus decisiones tienen más beneficios. Disfruta del programa de lealtad más completo. ¿Y tú, qué tarjeta de crédito Banorte necesitas?
Lo que quiero me lo compro en el Hot Sale. Si me olvido no importa, luego llega el Buen Fin. O me lo regalo en diciembre, de mí para mí.
Con tus tarjetas de crédito Banorte, tus decisiones tienen más beneficios. Un mundo de promociones todo el año. ¿Y tú, qué tarjeta de crédito Banorte necesitas?
Qué placer viajar con ventajas. Esperar tu vuelo súper cómodo y luego abordar sintiéndote muy especial. Acumular recuerdos, sonrisas y millas.
Con tu tarjeta de crédito Banorte United, tus decisiones tienen más beneficios. ¿Y tú, qué tarjeta de crédito Banorte necesitas? Banorte, el banco fuerte de México.
En Afflux Growth, somos aliados para impulsar el crecimiento de las empresas. Configuramos nuestras soluciones financieras para atender las necesidades de nuestros clientes de manera integral, a través de arrendamientos y líneas de crédito, así como nuestra nueva plataforma.
Well, good morning everybody once again, and welcome back to the top action of show jumping here from Monterey. The day is hotting up and we have just had the 5-star winning round competition with a brilliant performance by a number of those top 5-star riders. Of course, that competition being run a little differently to what we have come to expect from some of these. And that winning round, of course, being won by Natalie Dean and Coco Lina. We move on now, though, to the pinnacle of the sport for the 2-star riders. This is the 2-star Grand Prix, and this is what they have been aiming towards all week. Our first rider in will be Juan Carlos Martin del Campo, and he rides La Costa. This is a horse that he owns himself. It's an 11-year-old by Lancer, 3 out of a mare who is by Kornet Obolensky. Got a few withdrawals, and so that is why you see 6 out of 45 on your counter of how many riders we've had go. He is indeed the first in. So we're looking for clears. If you were with us in the winning round competition, you'll know that it wasn't just clears that went through to the second round, but here we just want a clear round going through to the jump off. Double combination here at 12, and then a related distance down to 13, finding that distance just a fraction short, but well managed by Juan Carlos. Unfortunately, just the A element of the double coming down clips the back rail. So it's going to be 4 to add, and a time of 73.07. The time allowed here is 74 seconds, and so he is within that time allowed. Gives us a 4 faulting round to kick things off. This young lady had a brilliant round in the 5-star winning round competition. She finished in 3rd place. That, though, was with Cosmos BH. This now is Mimi Goshman, and she rides Halita BH. This one is a 10-year-old by Eldorado van der Zeschuk out of a Heartbreaker mare. It's a new ride for Mimi, one that she hasn't competed internationally until this week. Horse was previously with Petronella Anderson, and Petronella rode the horse to a number of top 5-star competitions, including jumping in the Nations Cup at Nokahe Peak, Nations Cup at Rotterdam, and then the Grand Prix at Stockholm, as well as the Longines Global Champions Tour, as well as the Rolex Grand Prix of Dinard, at La Baule, as well with this horse. Petronella also competed the horse at Aachen in the 5 stars last year. And so fantastic to see such an experienced and talented horse be partnering a very talented young rider. Brilliant to see Mimi taking on the reins and absolutely making the most of the opportunity to ride this horse. Just the 1 down so far for her. Mimi, of course, the rider who did so very well in the Youth Equestrian Games. They were held at Aachen. She clinched the bronze medal for the USA there. Nicely down the final line. She's got quite a pace up, so the time's very good. 71.37. She is well inside the time allowed. Unfortunately, just the 1 fence down is going to keep her out of a potential jump off. I'm sure we'll see some clears at some point, but she is the faster of the 2 4-faulters as it stands. And a fast 4 could always be valuable. Now then to our second competitor for Mexico. This is Jacqueline Crystal Lopez Castro, and her horse is Evergo, a 13-year-old mare who is Dutch bred by Carthino Z. Jacqueline's been riding this horse in international competition since April of this year. Been jumping in the 2-star and 4-star competitions, did the 4-star classes at Copexpan last month, and now really getting themselves a lot of miles on the clock and forming a really great partnership. They won a 2-star two-face competition in May at Puebla. And together they've been in the top 10 3 times so far in just a few months of their partnership. So you can tell from that they're getting very consistent together. Shame to just have a little bit of an issue through the double combination there. And she's working on 12 now, coming down towards the final line. Well, having the A element again in the final double combination. I've seen that fall a couple of times for a few riders. So it's going to be 16 in total for Jacqueline and Evergo. Horse owned by Amelia Ensminger. And they slot into 3rd place at this early stage of the competition. 2 4-falters and a 16-falter on the board already. As we move on then to Louis Biraben. Right. For Argentina, and as you can see from the little icon next to his name, he's also a rider on the Crusaders team. He is indeed on their squad for today's team competition. That'll be kicking off this afternoon, but the horse that he'll ride later is Chaco Bumpy. This is Chapeau PSZ, an 8-year-old. So a little bit of a less experienced horse, but been going well in the 2-stars. Got this horse in the 2-star competitions at San Miguel de Allende, of course that being the latest Major League show jumping leg. That was leg 6. It was just a couple of weeks ago. We are now on to leg 7, so we're really getting into the second half of the season. Of course, all of these legs featuring 5- and 2-star competition. A couple of rattles through the Major League double there, but safely through, keeps them up. It's a horse that Luis has been riding since February of this year. Of course, came from Angelique Rusen of Germany. He took this horse to Ocala and Wellington earlier in the year as well. Great opportunity to just get plenty of rounds under their belts at shows like that. Crusaders team, of course, are the ones with an entirely new lineup in the second half of the season. So 6 new riders for them. They are unique in that, so it'll be really interesting to see how they get on here today. Really nicely done through the final line. A couple of clips, so it's 72.08 and 2 fences down for Luis Pedro Biraben. That's going to put him into 3rd place now with 8 penalties. Still looking for a clear. We've had 4 come forward now. A little short pause in the action while we wait for our next competitor to come in, who will be representing Canada. A few Canadian competitors coming down to Mexico for this week's action. We're seeing them on the team competition and also in individual action, a couple of Canadian competitors in our 5-star Grand Prix, of course, as well. On we go then to Wesley Newlands, who rides Maestro van Het Binnenveld, owned by the Weslands Farm. Wesley also made the trip to San Miguel a couple of weeks ago, and this combination were 4th in the 2-star Grand Prix there. Really nice double clear for them. So no doubt they'll be hoping to replicate that success here in Monterey. Of course, we've got 2 weeks of show jumping action back to back here. We'll be returning next Thursday with 4 further days, all containing 5-star show jumping action. Wesley's actually had this horse in a number of the Major League legs so far this season. She's also had a few weeks in Traverse City over the summer and had this horse see a 5th place finish in 2-star Grand Prix in July at Traverse City. So actually, you know, they're really quite consistent at this level now. They've been doing well in some 2-star speed classes as well. Travelled to Miami in April. And they just had 1 fence down in the running of this competition last year as well, finishing 19th. Going really nicely now. She's just got the 1 fence left. Yeah, really nicely done. Very successful last year and successful already this season. So Wesley Newlands gives us our first clear with Maestro van Het Binnenveld. Well inside the time allowed. Her time is 72.68. So very well judged. Wesley Newlands is the first rider through to the jump off. Well, representing the USA now, we have got Brooke Morin with NKH Carido. This horse is a 12-year-old by Carico and is Danish bred. Remember, we just have the 1 clear so far, so Brooke will be trying to join Wesley Newlands in that jump off. This combination also jumped in the 2-star Grand Prix at San Miguel a couple of weeks ago for a 5th place finish. Nice double clear there, so they've absolutely got the potential to do well here. Brooke also won a 2-star Grand Prix at Vancouver in August with this horse. Ah, what a shame. Just didn't quite get the shot that she wanted coming into that double, and so unfortunately fence comes down. She didn't quite have the impulsion that she needed for the B element. It's a shame because this was going so well and this pair really have a record to do well in this competition. nicely through the double at the second time of asking. It's going to be quite costly on the clock because remember that time allowed is 74 seconds, but it looks like Brooke might be making the decision to retire here. She knows that that's going to set her quite a way back down the lineup, and so very wisely saves NKH Corrido for another day. On we go then to another Mexican competitor who will be trying to join Wesley Newlands in the jump-off. This is Francisco Jose Lomelin Enrique, and the horse is Demosthenes. This is a horse that Francisco owns himself, the 9-year-old. Had this horse in some 4-star competitions last month at Quapexpan for some good results, but they've done well in the 3 stars here at Monterey, jumping here in April for good few competitions. Hasn't really competed this horse too extensively. He jumped this horse at Monterey here in 2019, 2021 and 2022. Then this year, as well as that, has competed at Mexico City and Quapexpan, so not too many shows under their belt as a pair, but still a 9-year-old, so still plenty of time to get a few more miles on the clock. Just takes a circle to reapproach the double. And nicely down over the last. So it's going to be quite costly for time with the circle especially. And here you can see just really reaching over the fence. Just horse getting quite a lot of height, but not so much pace that then causes them to just struggle a little bit over the width of the fence. So it's going to be a total of 26, and that will have Francisco Lomelin into 6th place at the moment. Still only 1 clear. That goes to Wesley Newlands. Nicolas Pizarro comes next then with Concare PS. Another rider on the Crusaders squad, and again Nicholas will be riding on that team this afternoon. He'll be riding Mike Wazowski there. Concare PS is just an 8-year-old German bred by Conthagos out of a Cornet Obolensky mare, so some lovely breeding on this horse. And Nicholas at the moment is 31st in the Longines World Rankings. Got plenty of nice horses in his string at the moment, including Oak Grove's Enkidu, he's done very well with. Rode that horse in the Nations Cup final in Barcelona. That horse in the 5-star Grand Prix at San Miguel as well. Concare, though, is the horse that he has for some of these 2-star competitions. And certainly going well despite the young age. Oh, what a shame. This final double is causing some problems. Good for time though, it's going to be 1 fence down for Nicolas Pizarro, and Concare PS is our 2nd fastest 4, so we'll go into 3rd place for now. But we're still looking for a 2nd clear to give us a jump off. Representing Colombia then, our next rider is Nicolas Gamboa. The horse he brings forward here is Interactive Mortgage Quijano, owned by DeLong Equestrian Ventures LLC. The horse is by Cayetano L, as the name may suggest to you. Again, he'd brought this horse to San Miguel a couple of weeks ago for the two-star Grand Prix there. Had 3 fences down in that competition, but they actually have a lot of clears on their record. He also took this horse to Traverse City over the summer months. Jumped a double clear in a 3-star jump-off class at Traverse City for a 3rd place finish. Also finished 8th in a 2-star competition at San Miguel as well. Horse has really got the potential for speed, but now he's going for these 2-star Grand Prix. Well, that gives us another clear. This pair are getting more and more consistent, and with 50% of the time clear already in their relatively new partnership. They are adding to that tally and adding another clear. 2 riders now through to the jump-off, one for Canada, Wesley Newlands, and one for Colombia, Nicolas Gamboa. Federico Fernandez, of course, represents Mexico, and he will be our next competitor heading into the ring. Federico's a really experienced competitor. He's 113th at the moment in the Longines World Rankings. Of course, former Olympic Games rider, 3 Olympic Games on his CV, one being in 2004 at Athens, 2008 Beijing, and London 2012 as well. Also competed at the World Championships this year, but he actually competed in his World Cup final in 1989, so this man has had a really impressively consistent career over a long period of time. At the World Championships in Herning, he rode Romeo. Vega de la Roche, though, is his mount here today. This one is by Diamant de Semi out of Balou Bay de Rouet-Mer. Federico took this horse in the 5-star competitions at San Miguel. Also jumped the horse in Kronenberg and Saint-Tropez, as well as in Quapex-Pan. The horse came from Marie Demont, the French rider. Safely over the final fence and nicely through this double combination, as you can see. Had to push a little bit for the double at 9, and so just clipped the front rail. So it's going to be 12 in total for Federico Fernandez. He slots into 7th place. Unfortunately, won't be joining those riders in the jump-off. We just still have 2 through there. So 2 through to the jump-off. We have 3 on 4. We have 1 on 12, an 8, 16 and a 26 so far. So quite a mixed bag. The record for this class so far. Well, our next horse in is Bacogan de Saint-Jean. Horse ridden by Manuel Antonio Fernandez Pache. Who rides for the Dominican Republic. going to opt to retire at quite an early stage here, not feeling that the horse is going the way that he would like, and so they're going to call it a day. He's actually a rider who competed at the Bolivarian Games this summer. Lots of clears in that competition with this very horse. Just unfortunate that they weren't quite having their day today. Well, we may just have a little bit of a pause in proceedings now, as that was, of course, a little bit of a shorter run than we might have expected. The next rider in will be Patricio Pascal, who rides Chakalu PS. Another extremely experienced competitor. Patricio, of course, another rider who competed at the World Championships in Herning back in August. The horse he rode there was Babel. Babel's been his championship horse for a few years now, for a World Equestrian Games and 2 Pan American Games. Silver team medal at the Pan American Games for him with Babel. And another rider who's had a fantastically long-lived career and really a lot of success on his CV already. The icon demonstrates to you that he is indeed on the team for the Trailblazers, and he's on their squad for the competition this afternoon. He'll be riding Caba Blue there. Here though, he rides Chakalu PS. This is one of his younger horses, just an 8-year-old by Diablo Blanco. Patricio at the moment is 89th in the Longines World Rankings. You can only get a placing like that with a great deal of consistency. This is a horse he's had since around March of this year. Jumped this horse in the team competition at San Miguel. Had 2 fences down there for the Trailblazers. He swaps to Caba Blue for that team competition this afternoon. Did though have a really good win in a 4-star jump-off class at Quapex Pan last month. He's had quite a few top 10 finishes with this horse, primarily at the 2-star level. That's unfortunate just to have back rail there. This horse was with Patrick Stuhlmeier in 2021, who competed the horse in the young horse classes. Nicely through the double. This has actually been a really nice round and gets quite a bold shot to the last as well, which really pays off for him. Quite perfectly timed as well, 73.7. Remember, the time allowed is 74 seconds, but unfortunately the Major League B element of the Major League double coming down, just clipping that front rail. So the 4 penalties will keep them out of the jump off. Patricio Pascal will slot into 6th place. Our fastest 4-faulter still is Mimi Gochman. She's in 3rd for now because, of course, we still just have the 2 clears. This is another horse that actually originally came from Patrick Stuhlmeier. Ridden now, of course, by Paul O'Shea. This is Sexy Beast. Owned by Eye Candy Jumpers, and Paul very much a key part of Team Eye Candy. He once again is on their squad for this afternoon's competition. He'll be riding Squirt Gun this afternoon. and selects Sexy Beast for this 2-star Grand Prix. Same fence goes down again, and the front rail once again as well. I think we have a slight incline on this arena, and so they're just slightly running downhill through that double combination, and so the front rail can fall really quite easily once they've got quite some pace up there. Paul O'Shea then working on 4, coming down to the latter part of the course. Paul, of course, a key rider for Eye Candy Jumpers, rides a few horses owned by that team. He'll be joined this afternoon by Richie Maloney and world number 5, Connor Swale. So very good lineup for their team this afternoon, and they'll certainly be ones to watch. Of course, they sit in 2nd place overall in the team season standings. They're on equal points with the Spy Coast Spies. Both of those definitely going to be ones to watch. 2 down then for Paul with Sexy Beast, but I should think he'll be quite pleased with that performance because this horse is going from strength to strength. It's lovely to see the horse just getting the experience in a range of arenas and certainly going ever more strongly. Well, mentioning the Eye Candy team and the Spy Coast Spies, we go on to a rider for the Spy Coast Spies. This is Rodrigo Lambre. Horse he's selected for this 2-star Grand Prix is Chapelot. This horse is owned by Mario Onate Baron. This is a 15-year-old now by Chaco Blue out of a Pilot mare. But they really have been pretty successful at the 2-star level so far in their career together. They won a 2-star jump-off class at Guadalajara in September. Also won a 2-star Grand Prix at Puebla in May and a 2-star class as well in May at San Miguel. Had a 3-star win at Quapex Pan in March. Oh, the lightest touch just taking the B element of that double down. That's unfortunate. It's going to take a circle now before fence 9. I think he's just feeling that the horse is getting a little bit strung out and a little bit strong, and gives a nod, which I think is indicating that he's going to choose to retire and save this horse for another day. But no doubt Rodrigo will be cheering on his teammates later on. He's on the squad for the Spy Coast Spies, but he's not on tonight's lineup. Riding for that team will be Lacey Gilbertson, Jacob Pope and Jordan Coyle. Ana Sofia Legoretta Hernandez comes next then with Santa Rosa Tokyo. It's a ride for her since early 2022. Horse was previously with Olivia Perot and before that Nicolas Pizarro. Last month they were 3rd in a 2-star Grand Prix at Guadalajara. And they're hitting about a 20% clear round rate so far. Oh, what a shame. Really, really good pace all the way around that course and particularly down that final line, but the pace just was a little bit too much for that final fence. So unfortunately it's fence 13 down for Ana Sofia Legoretta Hernandez. What a shame. 72.2 was a great time as well, but the fence is going to keep her out of the jump off. She'll go into 4th, so at the moment that's looking like quite a valuable place to be. competitor represents Uruguay. This is Juan Manuel Luzado Rodriguez, and he rides Chapeau. This horse is a 12-year-old, and the Major League double causes some problems again. Again, just getting a little bit running forward down that slight slope. It is only slight, but this arena is quite large, and so it can encourage some horses to just get a little bit on the forehand and just get a little bit long and a little bit strong. This horse is by Comme Il Faut. We haven't had too many of those in our lineup this week so far. It's going to be 2 down then in total for Juan and Chapeau. 73.62 the time. Puts them into 10th place as it stands. We now have 3 competitors on 8 penalties apiece. Those being Luis Biraben, Paul O'Shea and now Juan Manuel Luzado Rodriguez. Still 2 clears on the board. They are Wesley Newlands of Canada with Maestro Van Het Binnenveld and Nicolas Gamboa, the Colombian rider, with Interactive Mortgage Quijano. Mimi Goshman is our fastest 4 with Halita BH, and she is followed by Ana Sofia Legoretta Hernandez with Santa Rosa Tokyo. They are your top 4. The top 5 rounded out by Nicolas Pizarro and Concare PS. Antonio Morer comes next. He rides Chacalanda, owned by Salvador Oñate. This horse is by Chaco Blue. Antonio's just inside the top 750 in the Longines World Rankings. He's 749th on that list at the moment. Just taking something of a more steady approach down to that upright. And then now the related distance down to fence 8. The horse is a 12-year-old now, but this is a new partnership. The horse has been competed previously by Luis Alejandro Plasencia, Mexican rider. He competed the horse in the 2-star Grand Prix at Guadalajara in September, just 1 fence down. The horse has got a really good record though. There's plenty of clears on the board. This unfortunately won't be a clear on the board for them. It's going to be 2 fences down, so 8 penalties and a time 72.04 for Antonio Morer. He's still in the top 10 as it stands. And so the way that this competition is going, it looks like a fast 4 could indeed be valuable. Out of around about 16 we've had go so far. The number on your screens reflects the ones that have also withdrawn as well. We've only had 2 clears, so it's quite a low clear round rate in this competition. I'd expect to see a couple more coming up. Amanda Derbyshire for Great Britain will be the next to try to get in there. This one is owned by the Goshman Sport Horses as well. It is by 7Z out of a Bolivar mare. The horse is called Wonder If. And perhaps she is wondering if she can get herself through to the jump off. It's a 10-year-old, and this one has been going really well for Amanda recently. She was third in the two-star Grand Prix at New York at the Longines Global Champions Tour show on Governor's Island in September. Clearing them one down in the jump off there. Also had a win at the Hampton Classic show in a two-star jump off class, and jumped well at Traverse City and Devon as well. Also jumped well at Miami in April too, but looks like she's opting to save this horse for another day. Doesn't feel that it's quite a day to continue around this track, but certainly they've got plenty of good results in the bag so far, so no need to push things, and wisely saves the horse for another competition. She's going to retire. Our next competitor is on the Roadrunners team. This is Arturo Parada Vallejo with Prix 10. Roadrunners have had quite an interesting run in the season so far. They've had quite a few kind of middling results. They're represented this afternoon by Arturo Parada Vallejo himself here. He'll be riding a Wisconsin PS though this afternoon. He will be joined by Caitlin Campbell and Armentos and Kyle King and Etalon. Etalon, of course, being the horse that Kyle had that great win with earlier on in one of our earlier 5-star competitions this week. Good fast combination there. Unfortunately for Arturo, it's another fence down and the hand goes up. Once again, looks like he's going to save the horse for another day. Well, we have another competitor for the home nation now, representing Mexico. It's Cristobal Collado. Cristobal rides Princeton Z. This horse is an 11-year-old by President, out of a mare called Meatloaf, who is by Indoctro. Remember, just 2 clears already in this competition, so we're looking for a third. No Mexican competitor yet in the jump-off. Bringing you the 2-star Grand Prix here this morning. Cristobal comes here from quite a run of weeks in Saint-Tropez over the course of September. Of course, plenty of competitions taking place down there at a range of different levels. Also then previous to that, been competing in Brussels and at Centaur Park in Belgium, also in Valkenswaard and Dinard. Talented young man from Mexico, just unfortunately having some rattles through the final double as well, which has caused a good few problems, so the back rail falls there for them as well. Going to be 4 to add. 73.13 is the time, so the time's really quite good actually, so that's going to see them in 7th place. We do have 3 4-faulters ahead of that, but the times are really quite tight. The times for our 4-faulters are 72.2, then 73.05, 73.07, 73.13, so very, very tightly packed in terms of time on the leaderboard in that kind of area. Eduardo Pereira de Menezes is a man who has been very, very busy in recent weeks. He competed in our 5-star Grand Prix last night. Finishing second last night there. He rode H Big Action. This morning we have H5 Mesentos PS, another one owned by the H5 Sport Horses, this being a 9-year-old by Messenger. He jumped this horse most recently in a 2-star Grand Prix in Saint-Tropez in September, the 13th place, just 2 down in the jump-off there, so no doubt he will be aiming for the jump-off here as well. It's a relatively new partnership. Horse was competed by Enrique Gonzalez of Mexico, and prior to that by Carlos Hank Guerrero. But Eduardo's been competing at a number of the World Cup legs over in Europe as well, in Lyon, in Helsinki, in Oslo. Also jumped at the Nations Cup final in Barcelona this year as well, so he has really been getting the air miles in as a rider. Plenty of good horses in his string, and he's able to balance those across different venues. He's 76th in the Longines World Rankings at the moment as well. Unfortunate to have that fence down because this has been a lovely round. A lovely confidence building round for the 9-year-old. And an excellent time as well, 70.06. That is our fastest so far, I believe. But sadly, 2 fences down is going to put him into 9th place. Another competitor from Mexico, and I'm sure the crowd would love to have a Mexican competitor into the jump-off, is David Garcia de la Garza. He rides Tintoretto LS, a horse that he owns himself. Little bit of a rattle there, but I think he is safely through there. Horse is a 10-year-old. David's given the ride briefly to Juan Manuel Luzado of Uruguay for a few competitions with this horse, who's competed the horse at Guadalajara for a couple of months, but David himself most recently competed this horse in Guadalajara and in San Miguel in May. They jumped in a 2-star Grand Prix here in Monterrey in May of this year as well. Then finishing 13th. Double time penalty there. Looks like the time is absolutely fine here today. 72.94, yes indeed it is, and he gives us our 3rd clear round. Great to have a Mexican competitor on the lineup for that jump-off, one for the crowd to get behind for sure. So now we have one for Canada, one for Colombia, and one for Mexico. Wesley Newlands, Nicolas Gamba, and now David Garcia de la Garza joins them. Natalie Dean had a brilliant run in the 5-star winning round competition earlier this morning. She was the winner there with Kokolina. Now rides Iron Lady van der Kranenburg here for the Marigold Sport Horses LLC in this 2-star Grand Prix. This is an 8-year-old mare by Thunder van der Zoethoven, out of a mare by Cannon. On that performance in the winning round, we know that Natalie can be a very fast rider. Oh, what a shame. Would have been a great one to watch in the jump off, I'm sure. It is a relatively new partnership. They've just been competing together since August. She jumped this horse in Ottawa. Actually had a win in the 2-star 2 phase in Ottawa. And then was 10th in the 2-star speed class at San Miguel. Horse was formerly with Carol Cox of Belgium. She just has the one fence down, that's 69.8 seconds, and so she'll go into 4th place. That's our fastest 4-faulter so far, so she slots Mimi Goshman into 5th. Natalie Dean into 4th place. She will be coming back in the team competition later on today. That will be kicking off this afternoon, around about 2:30 local time. And we've got quite an exciting pre-show for you. Lots of entertainment to come before that, so do join us from probably around 2:15 to 2:30 for that. Natalie, as I say, will be back for that team competition for Team Lugano. She'll ride Camilla D later on. She'll be joined by team riders Carly Ferty and Erin Ballard. On then to Bruno Passaro of Argentina. He rides Abril Pup Girl. This horse is a 9-year-old by Chester Z, out of a Voltaire mare. Quite a long-term partnership for this pair. They've been competing together since 2020. And this combination were second in the 2-star Grand Prix at San Miguel a couple of weeks ago at our previous Major League show jumping leg. Really good double clear there. Two down then for Bruno Passaro. Unfortunately, he won't be replicating the success of the 2-star Grand Prix that he had in San Miguel. Of course, he was second to Arturo Parada, who is also not into our jump-off yet either. Wesley Newlands, though, is, as is Nicolas Gamboa and David Garcia de la Garza. Wesley was actually 4th as well in the 2-star Grand Prix last time around. Our next competitor is once again for Brazil. This is Felipe Godinho Marcondes. His ride is Issa Fayan. This horse is just a 9-year-old. also competed at San Miguel. Just having a fence or two down in those classes there, but again, this is a combination that's been competing in Europe recently. Jumped in a 2-star Grand Prix at Valkenswaard. Horse has also been ridden in the past and fairly recently by Sergio Nieto del Rio, a Mexican rider. And they've jumped the horse up to 4-star level, those competitions being in Valkenswaard. And that experience has certainly paid off, really paved the way for a good result here. It's going to be another clear. 4 now through to the jump off, and a very good time, 71.18. It's our fastest clear so far, but Filippo Godinho Marcondes gives us a competitor for Brazil into the jump off. We now have a Canadian representative, a Colombian, a Mexican and a Brazilian representative into the jump off. Filippo joins Wesley Newlands, Nicolas Gamba and David Garcia de la Garza. Well, very swiftly on to our next competitor. This is Lorenza Mena Rodriguez, again for Mexico, and she rides Crystal Utopia Z. Had a 2-star win with this horse in a jump-off class at San Miguel a couple of weeks ago. Very good performance in that competition. Also had a win in a 2-star class at Guadalajara in September. And has had wins in San Miguel and at Traverse City last year as well. Horse was with Iris Michaels of the Netherlands until 2019, jumping in the young rider classes and the junior categories. The double on the far side of the arena, as we're looking at it, that brown coloured double is really causing some problems. That's at fence 9. So that will be that is a fence down, and another double coming down there as well. Good to the last though, and 72.53 the time. I think that's 2 fences down for Lorenza, should really be 8. There we go, just graphics on your screen updating for you there. So she will not be into the jump off, she'll go into 16th place for now. Still our fastest 4 is Natalie Dean, and she holds 5th spot. Christian Lopez Radetzky comes next with Grand Slam, a horse owned by Federico Fernandez. Unfortunate to have an early fence there. This horse is relatively recently with Christian. He's competed the horse at San Miguel. And now here in Monterrey, it was with Fabien Sejan for a period, and with Paula Amilibia before that, and then, as you may suspect, in 2021 was piloted by the horse's owner, Federico Fernandez. So good few riders and a good few competitions on this horse's record. Christian now really making the most of the opportunity to have this quite experienced horse. It's a 14-year-old by Claudio 8. Nicely to the last, and he's just a fraction over the time allowed. Remember that being 74 seconds. So every 2 seconds started over the time allowed, they will pick up 1 time penalty. So it'll be 5 in total. for Christian Lopez Radetzky. Well, we already have one Colombian competitor through to the jump-off, that being Nicolas Gamboa. This next rider will be aiming to be the next. This is Ruben Arroyave. Ruben rides the horse Valeska Z. This one is by Van Gogh, out of a Balou du Rouet mare. This combination were 10th in a two-star Grand Prix at Guadalajara at the start of last month. That's one that Ruben has not had too many competitions with. He rode the horse in Guadalajara, as I say. Then this horse was ridden by Jorge Andres Munoz Marin at San Miguel. And then earlier this year and last year, the horse was ridden by Karl Brox of Germany. Now ridden by these Colombian riders. Once again, the double combination on the far side of the arena, that brown double. They're coming around the corner and just getting a little forward. The double of uprights, and so unfortunately that pace is causing those to fall for quite a few competitors now. Bit over the time allowed as well. It's going to be 5 in total for Ruben Arroyave of Colombia. We're into the final 10 in the first round of this competition. We still just have 4 clears. Those clears, to remind you in case you're just joining us, are Wesley Newlands, Nicolas Gamboa, David Garcia de la Garza and Felipe Godinho Marcondes. One for Canada, for Colombia, for Mexico and for Brazil. Quite the international lineup in this two-star Grand Prix, and certainly an international lineup in the competitions that we've had so far this week. Very international in the 5-star competitions, of course. On now to a combination who are going well together so far, and this rider is having a great year, of course, competing at the World Championships in Herning in the summer. This is Fabian Sejan. He rides for Argentina. The horse he rode there was Harley V.D. Bishop. This horse, though, is one of his younger rides. This is an 8-year-old. And is one that he's been competing since the back end of last year. He did win a 2-star jump-off class at San Miguel at our previous Major League show jumping leg. And he also had a 5th place at San Miguel in May in a 2-star speed class there. As a young horse and in the young rider categories, this horse was competed by Maya Inez Denise Chambon. He's a Mexican young rider. She jumped the horse in the 6-year-old classes and also in the junior rider categories. Now those stepping up very well to the 2-star level. Unfortunately, just a couple of fences down and just inside the time as well. It's going to be 8 for Fabian Sejan. He won't be going through to the jump-off, but certainly a very encouraging performance for him, for that young horse. Well, this combination certainly are going to give those ones into the jump-off so far a run for their money. This is Kyle King with Chess. We did have this horse in a few five-star competitions, and this horse has been competed by a very illustrious list of riders and is owned by a group of riders as well. Those riders on the horses list, of course, including Kent Farrington and Nick Jalajoyo as well, who competed the horse at Traverse City and at our Vancouver leg as well in the five-star classes. Kyle's now just dropping the horse down into a couple of two-star competitions. They did jump in the five-star Grand Prix at San Miguel as well as at Traverse City. A few fences down here. It's going to be 16 in total for the combination. Well inside the time allowed, but they'll go into 23rd place for now. On then to Carlos Hank Guerrero with H5 Ganesh Hero Z. This is another 8-year-old. Another competitor from Mexico. This horse is a stallion by Gemini. And again, this is a horse that Carlos has been competing in Saint-Tropez. Also jumps in the 8-year-old classes with this horse in Brussels. And did some 3 stars at Centaur Park as well. It's just going to be the one down. The red oxer on the far side of the arena just comes down there. So it's a good time, 71.59, but one fence down. He's going to be the 3rd fastest for Volta, and so slots into 7th place. Caitlin Campbell then comes next with Feon. A tricky moment there. quite deep into a lot of these fences. She is, of course, a competitor on the Roadrunners team. And she'll be competing for them this afternoon. She'll ride on Mentos in that competition. Fayon, though, going better and better for her. She's been jumping the horse in the 5-star Grand Prix at Vancouver, Traverse City and Toronto so far this year. Now just dropping the horse back down to the 2-star level, perhaps to just get some more miles on the clock and just to gain some more confidence. Again, deep into the double here. Actually, that's worked quite well for them. Quite a large horse, large striding horse. But of course, with the circle, that's going to be quite costly on the clock. So it was just one down, but with the slight issue early on in the course, they're going to finish with 13, and they'll be in 24th now. Simon McCarthy then comes next. Well, he's next on our list in any case. We just have a little bit of a change in the order here. Yes, so this is Oscar Barragan Gavino with Clip de Contes. It's the 10-year-old by Tinker's Boy. Not too many of those in our lineup so far this week. It's quite iconic breeding as well. We only have a few left on our list. Wait to see if Simon McCarthy comes forward, but other than that, we just have Vanessa Mannix and Rupert Winkleman still to come, and 4 through to the jump off. Well, the time is good. It's 72.7. 2 fences down, though, for Oscar Barragan Gavino and Clip de Contes. Here we go then, just a little bit of a shuffle around in the order. Simon McCarthy comes now. To be coming now. So this horse for Simon is Don't Touch Du Bois. This one is owned by Pine Hollow Farm. It's a 13-year-old by Kashmir van Schutershoff out of an Indoctro mare. Oh, what a shame. Simon is on the team for Helios, and he's on that team lineup this afternoon as well. He'll ride Gotcha for Helios. Of course, they are another team to watch in this afternoon's competition. They're the season leaders. They've had 4 wins so far, and Simon has played a crucial role in getting them to those 4 wins so far as well. Yeah, I think the hand's going up. He's just going to call it a day here. Saves the horse for another day. So that's going to be a retiring for Simon McCarthy. Coming up next then is Vanessa Mannix, another rider who you will be seeing later on today in the team competition at team class. Remember, the first horse will be in at 2:45. The pre-show will be live streamed for you from 2:35. Of course, you can watch all of that on MLSJ TV. Do head to MajorLeagueShowjumping.com to watch that 5-star team competition. It's a fantastic format. It is such an exciting competition to watch, and it's definitely one that you won't want to miss. This is a really key part of the season as well. We are on leg 7. Absolutely all to play for in terms of the points. And as I say, this lady, Vanessa Mannix, will be on the squads this afternoon. She'll ride Carmela Z for the Show Plus Northern Lights, and she'll be alongside Juan Ortiz and Sean Jobin. Quite a regular combination that we've seen for the Northern Lights so far this season. Vanessa here, though, rides Katinka 25. She's really had a very good show here with a lot of good results so far this week. What a shame. This double combination is causing some problems as well. Let's just have a look. Yep, quite nicely through there. Horse can be quite the clear round machine, so it's unfortunate that they've just had that fence down. Well, an unfortunate fence down because the time's great as well for Vanessa Mannix. It's 72.08. That will put her into 8th place so far. As we were saying, a fast 4 can always be valuable. The fastest of the 4 falters so far is Natalie Dean. Another rider who will be in the team competition later today. She'll ride for Team Lugano. So she is our fastest 4:69.8 seconds is her time, and actually that's her fastest round full stop. So she slots into 5th. Mimi Goshman is in 6th, Carlos Guerrero is in 7th, Vanessa Mannix 8th. And we have 4 riders through to the jump off. They'll be coming back for that short course. Rupert Winkleman then is the final rider in the first round of this 2-star Grand Prix. He rides Conrad 155. He's on the team list for Crusaders. He's not on the squad for this afternoon's competition, but no doubt he'll be cheering on his teammates in that team competition. The Crusaders, remember, are the team who have 6 new riders, so an all-new team for them. This horse is a 9-year-old. Just having a few rattles. Down the final line then for Rupert Winkleman and Conrad 155. Good through that final line. It's inside the time allowed, but 3 fences down will have him on a total of 12. 25th will be his final place. And so that concludes the first round of competition here. We have 4 combinations through to the jump off. They are Wesley Newlands with Maestro van het Binnenveld. We also have Nicolas Gamboa with Interactive Mortgage Cajano. David Garcia de la Garza with Tintoretto LS comes forward next. And finally, Filippo Godinho Marcondes will start 4th with Issa Fayen. They are your jump-off qualifiers. The course and the arena will just be prepared for that jump-off competition. So do stay with us. We'll be back in about 5 to 10 minutes time for the jump-off.
Banda de guerra y banda de música, domingos 2 y 30 de la tarde. Y vive un espectáculo único con el corazón de nuestro ejército mexicano en la pista principal.
There are all kinds of legends here, each one of them with their own story. But there is one thing they all have in common. They all drive us to find our greatness. Greatness is not something you were born with, nor is it reserved for a few. Greatness is, in any case, a choice. It begins with a dream and transcends languages, generations, and borders. It comes from a team united in body, mind, and spirit. Because by joining forces, the extraordinary can be achieved. True greatness forges a legacy that inspires others to dream more and become more, creating a better world for those who will come next. Legends inspire greatness in others. Let's be legends.
En Banorte sabemos que en equipo somos más fuertes.
Abre tu cuenta Enlace Personal, Enlace Digital o Mujer Banorte sin costo. Manéjala desde tu celular con Banorte Móvil. Y con ella tendrás acceso a todos nuestros canales. Solicítala ya en tu sucursal o en banorte.com.
Banorte está donde tú lo necesitas.
Conoce la nueva tarjeta de crédito Selección Nacional. Llévate la playera de la Selección Nacional utilizando tu tarjeta. Recompensas con artículos oficiales y experiencias. 6 meses sin intereses en tus compras y más. Solicítala en tu sucursal, Banorte Móvil o banorte.com.
Bienvenido al equipo Banorte.
A todos nos gusta que nos valoren. No importa si es a través de un gesto, o puntos para comprar, certificados de regalo, artículos gratis y viajes.
Con tus tarjetas de crédito Banorte, tus decisiones tienen más beneficios. Disfruta del programa de lealtad más completo. ¿Y tú, qué tarjeta de crédito Banorte necesitas?
Alright, well welcome back everybody to the 2-Star Grand Prix. It's been a really interesting competition. Vaults all the way around the course so far. And we've got 4 combinations through to the jump off. The first will be Wesley Newlands with Maestro Van Het Binnenveld. Wesley was our first competitor to keep a clean sheet in round 1. Now the jump off is what we have here. Nicely round the turn back to the Premier Equestrian. Oxa now comes down to the Major League double. Oops. Ah, what a shame. Just a little bit of a miscommunication on the distance there, and Maestro Van Het Binnenveld went for the fence, but unfortunately didn't quite go their way, and just too difficult to get things back for the B element. So it's going to be 8 on the board so far for Wesley Newlands. Just going to come back and re-approach. Time allowed for the jump off is 48 seconds. Now, usually we might think that that's not going to be too influential for a jump off, but with Wesley now re-approaching, it could be. nicely through on the second approach. Still going to be in the top 4. Now a new fence. This is fence 15. And then a right-handed swing back around to this fence that was in the first round, this black and white oxer. Then down to 13, the final fence from round 1 to finish. So she's going to have 1 time penalty, just obviously a little bit of time to add there with the representing to the double. So the time 48.11, but crucially it's going to be 9 in the jump off for Wesley Newlands. 3 more still to come in the jump off. Our next competitor is Nicolas Gamboa. Nicolas rides for Colombia, and the horse is Interactive Mortgage Cajano. You can see the VIP area just behind Nicolas there. Fantastic view from that VIP area for the spectators, enjoying some top quality food and entertainment while they watch the show jumping. Great hospitality here in Monterey. So Nicolas Gamboa comes to the first. Only 4 in the jump off, and we may see some riders going for a double clear because now we only have 3 left. We already have 1 rider who has had a couple of fences down. Nicely through the jump off, through the double, excuse me. 15 on the angle, loses a little bit of momentum, but now the turn back to this black and white oxer with the bears on either side. He's managed very well indeed, and great down to the last as well. So Nicolas Gamboa very much shows us how it's done. I think there's a couple of places where we might be able to see somebody take a little bit of time off, but it depends how much of a gamble they're willing to take. 36.94, that's the time to beat for now. But Nicolas Gamboa gets a great double clear with Interactive Mortgage Cajano. Third in will be for Mexico. This is David Garcia de la Garza. And David rides Tintoretto LS. No doubt the crowd will be getting behind his home competitor in this competition. Let's see if David can beat Nicolas Gamboa's time. He's holding the lead with a time of 36.94. Ooh, takes a stride out to the upright there with the white poles. Oh, what a shame. He was quite forward into the double, and unfortunately first part comes down. That means that Nicolas Gamboa is guaranteed no worse than second. Takes a stride out to the last as well, but it's 1 down for David Garcia de la Garza. The time is 37.47, so he was a little off the pace of Nicolas Gamboa as well, but a really nice performance. Unfortunately, just that 1 fence down to slot them into second place. He will be on the podium because we just have 1 rider still to come in this jump off. Nicolas Gamboa can be no worse than second. David Garcia de la Garza can be no worse than third. Final competitor in the jump-off then will be Felipe Godinho Marcondes. His ride is Issa Fayen. This one is a 9-year-old. His time to beat is 36.94. However, we only have 1 clear so far. So, potentially, Felipe may gamble, he may go for the time, but I wonder if he might try to just keep the fences up, because certainly second place would be a great finish as well. Let's see. Good turn back, not wasting any time there. Great through the double as well, and gets that inside turn in front of fence 13. Good to 15 as well. He's making the good tight turns here. He would love to win this class. Oh, he's going to be close for time. Oh, good to the last as well. 37.8 seconds is his time. So he's just under a second slower than Nicolas Gamboa, who will be your winner. Very well deserved. A great time to win of 36.94. Filippo Godinho Marcondes will take the second spot then, with that double clear and a time of 37.8. There's the top 5 for you then. Nicolas Gamboa for Colombia wins the 2-star Grand Prix. Filippo Godinho Marcondes for Brazil takes second. David Garcia de la Garza for Mexico takes third with Tintoretto LS. And Wesley Newlands for Canada will round out the top 4, the fourth competitor into the jump-off, with Maestro Van Het Binnenveld 2 down in the jump-off. Natalie Dean was our fastest for vaulter in round 1, with Iron Lady Van de Kranenburg, and so she will take 5th. Very valuable fast 4 for her. Well, the arena will be prepared for the presentation for that prize-giving ceremony. And then this stunning arena, this beautiful sweeping grass arena in Monterey, will be prepared for the 5-star team competition. And that is a competition that you won't want to miss. Of course, the order was decided by the challenge on Thursday night, and the Trailblazers will come in first. Spy Coast Spies will be last to go, and they, of course, are in joint second place. Team Helios will be about middle of the pack in terms of the order for round 1, but don't miss a moment of that. All of that will be streamed live on MLSJ TV. You will also be able to watch that competition back, should you wish to do so, or if this is a little bit of a tricky time for you, depending on where you're watching in the world. But do join us again then. The first horse will be in for the team competition at 2:45, and some great entertainment with the pre-show will begin at 2:35. So set your watches. We will see you in about 2.5 hours' time for the 5-star team competition. But here are your final results for the 2-star Grand Prix. It's a win for Nicolas Gamboa.
Y están ingresando a la pista los jinetes clasificados. Fuerte el aplauso para recibirlos. Felicitaciones a todos. El aplauso para recibirlos son los jinetes clasificados en esta prueba que acaba de finalizar, el Grand Prix de 1,45 m de altura. Felicitaciones a todos, los invito a acercarse al podio. Vamos a comenzar con el quinto lugar, que es para Natalie Dean con Iron Lady Van de Kranenburg. Fifth place from Natalie Dean representing USA. El cuarto es para Wesley Newlands representing Canada. Fourth place, maestro Van Het Binnenveld. El tercer premio es para David García de la Garza de México con Tintoretto LS. La segunda colocación en este gran premio es para Filippo Godinho Marcondes de Brasil. Second place from Filippo Godinho Marcondes representing Brasil. Y el ganador es Nicolás Gamboa de Colombia. Fuerte ese aplauso con Interactive Mortgage Cayano. Felicitaciones. Invitamos a los tres primeros a acompañarnos en el podio para continuar con la entrega de trofeos.
No estoy acostumbrado, no vengo mucho acá, no acostumbro venir mucho acá, pero...
Comenzamos con el trofeo para el tercer lugar. David García de la Garza de México, felicitaciones. Para el segundo premio, Filippo Godinho Marcondes de Brasil, felicitaciones. Y el ganador, Nicolás Gamboa, Interactive Mortgage Cayano de Colombia. Fuerte el aplauso para él, felicitaciones. Tenemos la foto del recuerdo de este podio para el ganador y sus escoltas. Felicitaciones a los tres. Y ahora los invito a ponernos de pie para escuchar el himno nacional de Colombia en honor al ganador Nicolás Gamboa. Fuerte el aplauso nuevamente para Nicolás Gamboa de Colombia, ganador de este gran premio. Felicitaciones. Ahora los voy a invitar al brindis con estos 3 jinetes que están en el podio en esta final de entrega de premios de esta prueba. Felicitaciones nuevamente. El brindis entre ellos y con el público. El descorche del champán, el brindis y el festejo. El ganador Nicolás Gamboa de Colombia, sus escoltas Felipe Godinho Marcondes de Brasil y David García de la Garza de México. El aplauso para los 3. Salud, señores. Felicidades. El aplauso nuevamente. Y los voy a invitar a volver a sus montados para la vuelta de triunfo por la pista.
Muchas felicidades. No, hombre, al contrario, felicidades.
Felicitaciones a todos, los invito a dar la vuelta de triunfo por la pista Victory Lap para Nicolás Gamboa, el ganador de este gran premio con Interactive Mortgage Cayano de Colombia. Adelante en esta vuelta de honor. Felicitaciones, el aplauso de todo el público y sus escoltas de Brasil, Felipe Godinho Marcondes con Isa Fallén. El tercero, David García de la Garza de México y Tintoretto LS. El cuarto, Wesley Newlands y Maestro Van Het Binehoff. Felicitaciones. Y el aplauso para estos 3 binomios, especialmente para el ganador de Colombia, Nicolás Gamboa.
We have a new leader